Hey, I'm Andy, and welcome to Rock, Roll, and Red Plaid. Tonight on Rock, Roll, and Red Plaid, Aaron Garcia from the band Pillbook joins us. I have known Aaron for almost 10 years, probably more than that at this point. He's an incredible musician, songwriter, and producer all at once. He gets into songwriting, influences, and a whole lot more. Let's get to it. Alrighty, here we are, back again. Rock, Roll, and Red Plaid. We got Aaron from Pillbook here in the house. Hey, dude, what's
That's
up?
me. I'm good, chilling here in, calling live from Philadelphia. So here I
You're in
am.
Philly.
Yes, I am.
Oh, wow. Are you there permanently now, or?
I think so. Yeah, I
Oh,
moved for
wow.
school and yeah, I think I'll be here for a minute. We'll see.
Oh,
I don't know
wow.
which way the universe is, kind of nudging me
As
towards,
we
but
do. Yeah, my father's
yeah.
originally from just outside Philly. So,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Levittown, which is kind of right on the Jersey line there. So,
Okay, cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Have you been?
Many times, yeah.
Cool.
Many
Yeah, I
times,
like
yeah.
it here.
It's
It's got
nice,
it's
yeah.
yeah, I like biking around. I bike everywhere, so it's super cool.
Fantastic. Lots of
Yeah.
different music stuffs there too, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of DIY sort of
Oh yeah, those warehouse
it's a
shows are
yeah.
legendary.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm excited to go into that. I hear
Perfect.
that it gets there's a lot like a ton of DIY shows once the semester starts.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm in like the Temple area.
Okay.
So I'm excited to attend DIY shows and all that sort of stuff.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, my
Mhm.
memory not be may not be as good, but the first time we met was at one of those 5x2 shows. Um,
Yes, it was probably uh in Lowell,
was
right?
it?
I feel like
Hmm.
it was in Lowell,
Because I was doing an acoustic, just
or
in
was
it,
it
just
out of the
me.
blue?
Was no, we did Out of the Blue with somebody else. Well, you guys were there though.
Yeah, it was a tavern, no?
Hmm. Was it the Tavern in Framingham?
I think it was the
Okay,
tavern. Yeah.
perfect.
Because you
The
were doing
D
like an acoustic solo
I
set, I
was just doing the
remember.
acoustic because the
Yeah.
guys were all kind of doing in something something buy a
Yeah.
t-shirt. SS Bats were
Yep.
spread out that day, so we couldn't get down there that day. But I'm like, I'll get down there, do a spot,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
I remember that. That may
what?
have been the first gig I did with 5x2.
Oh, those guys, Bob
Yeah.
McCarthy and company, all those guys are just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah. Is the venue
uh,
still around?
I'm on the still in the Boston area. Yeah.
Okay. The
Um,
yeah. How about the venue, the tavern? That's what it's called, right? Is that venue still around?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been down there probably since, actually.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. It's been a
what I
minute.
remember, I don't know if Pillbook at the time was a two or a three piece. I know for a while you guys were a two,
Yep. Yeah. I
but
A three piece.
they
Yep.
were three at that
Yeah.
point. Okay,
Yeah.
and I remember you guys rolled in like four
Yeah.
stacks, and two of you for two of each of you. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be these guys. Oh, this
Yeah.
is it, guys. And I think
Yep.
both of you guys were playing bass though.
Yep.
If you correct me if I'm wrong.
That is right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's like Royal Blood before Royal Blood was Royal Blood. Well, say that five times fast.
Yeah. It was a cool setup we had. It's right when I started writing
Hmm.
bass only songs and
Yeah.
I would have my, because we were like a standard rock trio and so I would
Hmm.
have the bass player play the lower stuff and I'd be up in the higher register. And that's how I basically started writing songs with just the bass. And shortly after,
Mm.
I did an EP where it was just a duo, so it
Right.
worked out. Yeah.
Your did Steve from Company One, did he drum with you guys or was that somebody else?
No, that was someone else. That was my friend. That was our buddy Edwin. From
Right.
yeah,
Oh my
Edwin.
gosh, I remember him.
Yeah, Edwin. Yeah,
Okay.
he was our drummer for some time. Great
Okay.
drummer, great
Oh
guy.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever had gone to Because I know you guys maybe came to see SS Bats at Out of the Blue at one point. Did you?
Yeah, I feel like I did. Yeah,
That
that
was
rings a bell.
that was I think it was April Fool's Day. I remember that much, and
Hmm.
it was the first time we had played with our new bass player Luke. He had played a few shows with us before we kind of went on hiatus, and
Yeah,
he there was the Out of the Blue is an interesting spot because at the time there was no monitors, so all you could hear while you
yeah.
were playing was
Mhm.
just roar. You got
Yep,
this
yep, yep,
gush
yep.
of noise.
Yep. The cool thing about Out of the Blue was that it had, carpet everywhere. So
Hmm.
you weren't dealing with the reverberation of the room. So everything you could play real tight. I've played shows in large halls that didn't have monitors, and you're basically playing against the delay and the
and
reverberation.
that
So
and that can be
mm,
weird. Yeah.
it can be weird, you hear the snare, then you hear it again, slightly delayed, and it kind of messes with, honestly, the vibe. But yeah, I liked Out
Mm.
of the Blue. Yeah. And
It
that
almost
doing.
when with those echoes, it almost could sound like a an out of rhythm flam on the drum.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was real weird. Yeah. We've played a
It was
few of
like,
those. Yeah.
yeah, and I
I
remember,
feel like school auditoriums were always like that. Yeah, where
of
they're not
course.
equipped to have a drum kit, but
Mm.
there we were, being loud.
I remember that, and I've told this on the podcast before too, but because there were no monitors at Out of the Blue, I was playing and I'm running around like the, idiot I was, probably still am,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and I remember I get whacked in the back of the head by a drumstick. Our drummer Buck had thrown a stick at my head because I was so off time.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
Yeah.
"Ow!" And he's like, it's here, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, a lot of those weird moments and funny moments happen when you're in the moment of a rock show.
oh, you got to
I've
just roll
definitely
with
had
it though.
pretty much, you get, the show must go on, and I've definitely had my fair share of, like, I remember this one time we used to, when it was a duo, we used to play with, or on stage we had like Christmas lights, and so
I
we would
remember
drape.
those.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
remember
So
those.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So we draped the drum kit, the amps, in these like string lights,
Yeah, yeah,
super
yeah.
colorful, awesome. And we would shut off the lights, like the house lights, and so all you had was the glow of the stage. And one time I had to, like, I think, jump over something,
Oh no.
over like a, or like, I don't know how I did it, but I had to kind of support myself on my hand. And there was a broken bulb
Oh
um
no.
there. And so I remember it cutting my hand. It hurt,
Ouch.
but what I felt initially was the shock. I got shocked. I'm like, oh, that really hurt. This was at a
Oh.
bungalow in New Hampshire. Um
Oh right.
yeah, in
Yeah.
Manchester. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And
that's Manchester.
so,
Yeah.
and I think it was my left hand. And so I remember tuning before we even started, and I just noticed a bunch of blood on the neck of my bass. Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, all right, here we go. There's gonna be a bloody set. And we played it, and it
Uh.
was, yeah, so that hurt. I think that was the last time we used Christmas lights.
You kill the lights, no pun intended.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, it's just go right into Sunday Bloody Sunday.
Yeah, you just have
Uh,
to keep going, and you're full of adrenaline because you're about
oh
to play
yeah.
this. We would play intense, loud songs, and you have this crowd waiting for you to play.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you just kind of just hit the ground running,
Yeah.
essentially.
Where did the idea for the Sans guitar rock thing come from? Like you guys were both two bass players, and where was that initial idea born for you guys?
Yeah, so I am a huge fan of a band called Death from Above 1979. Sometimes they go by Death from Above, sometimes just Death from Above 1979.
Okay.
So they're a duo, a Canadian duo,
Hmm.
and it's like dance punk.
Right.
And I was playing a lot of guitar at the time that I discovered them, when they were
Hmm.
touring their album The Physical World. I was
Hmm.
14 or 15 at the time.
Wow.
And so I remember just like getting super inspired by that album and their
Hmm.
sound, because it was dancey, but it was also grungy with the bass sound.
Mm.
It's probably my favorite modern rock album.
Wow.
Not including like Frog Stomp, or like Nevermind, like just
Okay,
because that was the
right. No,
90s.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Sure.
Those are classics. But like modern rock, that is my favorite album.
Awesome.
So yeah, so basically I learned the licks and all that stuff, and then I started writing on the bass because bass just vibrates. It feels there's this power behind it. And so
Yeah.
I just was emulating that sound. And of course, here I was with the bass going through a guitar amp, and so I was missing the low end, and we're already a trio. So hey, bass player, I guess you can play something else while I do this. And so that's kind of how we wrote those songs. Yeah.
Yeah. A bass part can make or break the song, really.
Yes, yes,
So
yes, yes.
when
Yeah.
I was, I think I mentioned to you when I just put out that
Hmm.
song with Billy Sheehan on bass, of course, one of the greatest
Hmm.
bass players of our time. He took the song that I was working on. If it was here, it was already a good tune, but he just took that to a whole new level because
Yeah.
it was already kind of like it wasn't like a super medium tempo kind of
Hmm.
tune, and it was kind
Hmm.
of a little more mellow actually.
Yeah.
But when he added in that bum 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 thing, and it's
Hmm.
like, oh my gosh, it's just another level. And
Yeah, it can really change. Like a good bass line can really mess with, in a good way, the rhythm and just how it moves around. Like, yeah, sure, it's easy to demo a song and just play the one the entire time, right?
right, yeah,
Um, and but once you start playing around and it starts speaking in the spaces that it can't speak,
right,
it really pulls emotion in an interesting way.
yeah.
Yeah, a good bass line is crucial.
And you guys in Pillbook always did that. I mean, every
Mm,
single thing you turned out was just really, really cool.
yeah.
And the second episode of this podcast I ever did was with a group called the Doties. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
The Toadies. No.
Dodies.
Mm.
They're
Boston based.
no, they're from Israel actually.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and I think they're in the process of moving over here too.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think Texas. But in any event,
Hmm.
they're a duo, and their guitar player, but then the drummer plays drums with one hand and plays keys bass with the other.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
and you got to check those guys out because, like
Yeah.
I mentioned Pillbook to them because we're talking
Hmm.
about duos, and I said
Hmm.
put you two on a bill, and I would go see that. That would be sick.
Yeah. Yeah. They're a duo.
They are, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of ground to cover as a duo when you're not playing the backing tracks.
That
There's so
oh my
much
goodness,
yeah, there's just so much you have to fill out.
yeah.
Yeah, the high end, the low end. Uh, yeah, it's so much, and a lot of like the my playing is influenced by just trying to fill out the sound, right? Like Jesse F. Keeler is a big inspiration for me in the way he's the bass
Mhm.
player for Death from Above.
Sure.
The way he moves around in the bass, where you're still getting the lead line, but you're also getting the bass.
Mm.
His bass lines jump around a lot, and I love that. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
the duo thing. I was almost, this is kind of funny. I'm not trying to throw too many compliments your way, but I never knew the duo thing would work until I saw you guys.
Ah,
Flat
wow.
out, not even kidding. I'm just being real,
Yeah,
my guy. You know,
yeah.
I'm just
Appreciate
saying.
it.
Yeah, and then I'd go and see, one of my other bands would do Royal Blood songs, but I'd
Hmm.
have to mimic the bass part and just do it on
Yeah,
guitar because
yeah,
we were a four piece. And I'm like,
yeah,
oh, there's like more ground to cover, but
yeah.
you have to simplify to make it more, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it also requires um creative thinking in terms of gear.
Mm,
Because yeah, my pedal board at that time was an interesting mess
I think I
of like
remember.
routing things to different
Yes,
amps because
the
I
A/B
had
splitters and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I had two guitar amps and then one bass amp, and the guitars covered the stereo, the sort of
Wow, so you
wide
were in
guitar thing. And
3 amps then you were running.
yeah, at 1.3 amps. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And then I'd use a button to shut off the rumble amp, the bass amp,
I
the
remember
rumbly
those.
amp.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so yeah, and it's just so much.
That was
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
at the most I was running 2 amps, but never. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
now I'm actually ampless. I'm doing the ampless thing.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'd love to do it again sometime.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so many different avenues you could go, but like who were your first like musicians and songs that really made you want to start doing music and playing
Music.
it? Yeah.
Uh, musicians, I'd say it's Slipknot and specifically Jim Root.
Oh, Jim's amazing.
Jim Root's the emotion he pulls out of solos was super
Mm.
inspiring to me. Because it's melodic, but also somber in a little bit of way in a
Mm.
sorry, somber in a way. Um, and so his sort of legato playing, I found, you know,
Not
I
only,
grabbed
oh,
onto
sorry, go
that.
ahead.
No, you're fine.
No,
So yeah, that's what I grabbed onto. That sort of style.
yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
I was just gonna say, not only is Jim so intricate and soulful and
Yeah.
like you said, somber with his playing, but he's so surgically precise.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost like the Paul Gilbert level of just it almost becomes mathematical or something like
Yeah.
you'd find in a lab, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, and like all their albums, like I used to play as best as I could at the time, right? When I was like 16,
Right.
15 or whatever, play
Huh.
all their albums front to back like
Yeah.
all day. And that's pretty much all I
Right.
did because I didn't
Yeah.
really hang out with friends or anything. So Slipknot for sure.
Hmm.
Um and then I discovered Silverchair
Hmm.
through a friend I made at school, one of the security guards, and he told me about Silverchair and 90s bands and all those
Cool.
sort of grunge bands. So
Sure.
Frog Stomp was super important to me.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm sure there's
Awesome.
a few others. Nirvana, of course, that's a
Naturally.
big one. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, yeah, those sort of artists.
Yeah, yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, did you get a chance to see the 25th anniversary tour of Slipknot that they're doing at this point, or
I have seen the videos, yeah,
oh,
like on social media. Yeah, yeah,
that's like
yeah.
still
There's
killing it.
they still have the energy. That's wild. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
great. They're still on the road. I'm really happy
Yeah.
to like see that. I've never seen them before. I would love to,
Yeah.
have the opportunity to see them.
Yeah.
Because they're huge inspiration for me.
I always thought that is we'll get into this
Mm-hmm.
personally, but to start it off, the stage injuries are always like you said, you talked the one about with the
Oh my
Christmas
God,
lights there,
yeah.
but do you
They're
hear
on a
about
whole nother level. Okay.
well,
Full
it's
on
just funny
concussions,
because
broken feet, like the whole
oh,
thing.
I
Yeah.
love the well, not love the story because it is kind of
Hmm.
gnarly, but when Clown uh slams his face into a mic stand and opens up his face,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
not his eye, his
Hmm.
face, but they are actually playing eyeless at the time, which made it even funnier.
Hmm. Yeah, that Disaster Pieces 2002 concert video thing, that DVD they did was great, and that one
Wait,
had
that
a
that's actually on film? That injury, or
no, no, not
I
that
was just gonna
specific one. No,
say,
no. I'm
if you
just
knew that, I'm like,
yeah.
wow, that's some deep trivia there, my
Yeah,
guy.
I can probably dig through specific dumb things they did and on YouTube, like, when I think
As one
about it.
band
Yeah.
does, you know,
Yeah, because I obsessed over them. I just yeah, yeah, yeah.
as you do, you know, you go through your things there, you know, but
Yeah, yeah.
so was Pillbook the first band you kind of put a lot of stuff into, or was there bands beforehand that were like trial and error, or did it just kind of form out of different things there?
It's the first band, and yeah, first, and I can
Wow,
say longest running project.
that is so cool.
Yeah, yeah. To some, like, the project pretty much started I think I started it in, let me see, middle school. I was probably 14, 13, something
Okay.
like that. Um, yeah, and I had an idea, like, we had different names.
Yeah.
Um, and we landed on Pillbook at
It's a
some
good
point
name.
after. Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's a good name.
Um,
Stands
yeah, so
out.
I've yeah, I've been told that. I like the way it looks when it's spelled out.
Yeah, I mean, even the
Has a
abbreviation
interesting, yeah,
PLBK. It's because
yeah.
that to me that sounds like a subway train. Oh, take the PLBK
Ah,
to Queens or something, you know?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it looks real nice. That's, one of the
Yeah,
reasons why we chose it. And of course, members ca came and went.
it
Um,
happens.
yeah, and I mean, it's pretty much been me, right? Like my songwriting.
Hmm.
Um, when it was a trio, I would write the songs and I'd bring it in for a jam, and uh, we'd build it like that. But for the most part, the
Yeah.
songwriting, what it started with me.
So it's just your brainchild, as it were, you know.
Pretty much, yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much, yeah.
nothing wrong with
Hmm.
that. You know, I mean,
Hmm.
I think of the band Mariana's Trench, who I don't know if
Hmm.
you've heard of them. They're a Canadian band. They're kind of like a symphonic rock kind of
Okay.
band. They do a
Hmm.
lot of different stuff. So it's
Hmm.
some of it's like really, really pop, and then some of it really goes down the punk route, and then some of it is like just it's all over the place. But in any
Yeah.
event, it seems to me that the brainchild is the lead singer who writes and produces all this stuff. Not to say the other
Hmm.
guys don't tweak stuff about it, but
Yeah.
it
Hmm.
just seems like he comes in with this stuff and they're like, "Hey, it's good. Why if it ain't broke, you know?"
Yeah, yeah. The idea has to be born somewhere
Yeah.
by someone, I guess, birthed by someone, and
I mean, hey.
yeah, and a lot of bands, it's equal collaboration. I have never liked that. I just like
Yeah.
writing songs. That's yeah, my
Yeah.
thing. So
I mean, it's not to say that, if like in that band or in your band, if someone else came
mhm.
in and had an idea, it wouldn't be like, "Oh no, this is this," but it's like,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
wouldn't be Pillbook for
right.
me. That's how I feel. Like I'm open to the idea of,
Right.
right, joining a band or something, or doing, having like a songwriting group, whatever it
Right.
is, like a collaborative
Right.
music project. But it
Right.
wouldn't be Pillbook.
Yeah, it's really close to your heart, I can tell. It's
Yeah.
really
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
When was that? Sorry, going back to that gig at the tavern in Framingham, because that was like I think t right before we played the Middle East. My
Hmm.
band anyhow
Yeah. Yeah.
played the downstairs. Were you at that show?
Downstairs? No, I don't think
Because I
so.
know
Yeah.
Bob and Owen and the Company One guys came,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I could see Owen way out there because he was still rocking the mohawk at that
Hmm.
point.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I remember the
And,
Mohawk.
and Bob with his the granddad fedora there, which is
Hmm.
awesome. You know,
Hmm.
good
Yeah. This
bunch of
was
great
before the tavern?
just after,
After.
just
Okay.
like a
Okay.
month after,
Got it.
because
Okay.
we were, I think, prepping for that show,
Okay. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and
Hmm.
that's why I think we kind of scattered. We really want to put our eggs in one basket at that point. And the reason I ask is because you were talking about how Pillbook came together, and it's like I at the time was, if this was 2016, I was 22 during
Hmm.
that, because I felt like the kind of elder, my band kind of felt like the elder statesman of that scene. Like we were the slightly older, because
Yeah.
I don't remember how old you guys were at that point, but it was just enough
What year
to
was this?
2016.
I was 16.
What?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that makes you now,
24.
uh, you child. I just turned 30.
Yeah. Hey, 30 is a new 25 in this
I'm in.
economy.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, sir.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I still
But
feel like I'm 22. So,
hey, I
hmm,
mean, 22. There you go. Okay, there's
yeah.
only one song
Hmm.
for that. It's gotta have that
Yeah.
T Swift in there. But anyhow, what has been since you've been doing you got some new stuff coming out,
I do
Pillbook.
have some new stuff coming out. I
Well, let's
have.
plug it. What do you got?
Cool. So I just released a song, well, a lyric video for a song called El Sueño Americano. And so the audio is gonna be out first, or the audio is gonna be out soon. I put out the video first as an experiment. So that's coming out. I haven't really confirmed this, but I am pretty sure that my first EP, Vodi, will be out again in some medium, whether it's streaming or
Mm,
physical. I
yeah,
haven't decided, but that's gonna happen.
yeah.
Um, And yeah, I'm working on other projects, I have project files open and stuff, and I'm back to writing on the guitar,
Right on.
which is really cool. Yeah, yeah. I spent some time writing on the computer, just through a DAW and building songs that way. But there's something about writing a song organically on a guitar. So yeah,
Yeah.
new stuff. But the next thing is that one track, El Sueño Americano.
Fantastic. It's great to see that is it just going to be still you, or you got some new members in Philly now, or
So right now, I creatively, of course, it's still gonna be me. I'm still gonna keep writing songs. But I want to bring these songs on this out on a stage out here. Um,
right?
yeah, I did that with a group in Boston, where we brought these. We had backing tracks and all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
Um, it was a cool little like trial, I
Hmm.
feel, because I knew I was gonna start school. I knew I was gonna
Yeah.
go somewhere else. But here, because I'm writing songs organically on the guitar and I'll be bringing back an EP, I'll have a lot more material to
Right on.
play that doesn't require backing tracks. So yeah, I hope to form a band out here. So I am looking for a drummer. I am looking for a bass player. I am looking for a guitarist out here. So
You
if
heard
you
it
want to
here.
play,
Yeah, I was
in
just gonna say
Pillbook
you heard.
live, here you are.
Well, if you ever need a guitar track played on a like a recording, I can do it virtually if you want.
Cool. All right.
For where can we find the Pillbook stuff online if you want to plug that stuff too?
Cool. Of course. So on Instagram, I'm at Pillbook. Super easy. On Spotify, I'm on as Pillbook. Yeah, and so you can pretty much just look that up on all streaming
Yeah.
services, and I'm there. I'm gonna find my TikTok. One second, I forget
Mm,
my TikTok
the
name.
TikTok.
Yeah, at TikTok. I'm at Aaron PLBK. I
Okay.
post there a lot more often than Instagram or
All
whatever.
right, well,
Yeah, so that's where I'm most active.
right on, my guy. Hey,
Mhm.
all right, thank you so much. This
Of
has
course.
been absolutely fantastic catching up, and hopefully it'll be sooner than later that
Yeah, it's my
we can do
pleasure.
this. All right.
Hmm.
This has been Rock, Roll, and Red Plaid with Aaron Garcia and Pillbook. Go check out Pillbook, and we'll catch you all later.
See ya.
For more of my original content, visit my website, www.andyconley.com.